and stop being complicit. It's time to stand tall and firm, have a backbone. I can't take this complicity. People rolling over. I should have brought a bunch of knee pads for all the world leaders. And I hope people understand how pathetic they look on the world stage. I mean, at least from an American perspective, it's embarrassing.
So what should Europe be doing?
You should decide, the Europeans should decide for themselves what to do. But one thing they can't do is what they've been doing. And they've been playing. This guy is playing folks for fools. And it's embarrassing.
Europeans think this is diplomacy and this will ultimately
this is
work.
Diplomacy with Donald Trump. He's a T-Rex. You mate with him or he devours you. One or the other.
And Europe's
people need to stand. No, the Europeans could be if they continue down this path and process. They need to stand tall, stand firm, stand united. Look, a year ago we should have been having this conversation, and they didn't. Okay, and now you're paying the price. Exactly what anyone objective observer would have anticipated we'd be where we are today. This guy's a wrecking ball. I hope people are waking up to what we're dealing with. This is code red. I mean, you guys are still playing by all set of rules. Everybody, the globe is with this guy. He's unmoored. It's the law of the jungle. It's the rule of dawn. And I hope it's dawning on the world what we're up against. I mean, this is serious. This guy he's not mad. He's very intentional, but he's unmoored and he's unhinged. And it requires the goal is whatever he wants it to be. The goal is the world in his image.
What would your advice?
He's a narcissist. I mean, it's no advice. Common sense. Why don't folks do what they say publicly, what they're saying in private? Why don't they just simply do what they know is right? I mean, everybody's talking behind his back. They're laughing at him. Meanwhile, they're sucking up to him. It's embarrassing. I mean, you're modeling behavior for our kids, generations of folks. This is not diplomacy. This is stupidity.
If they don't act, does this end with military solution?
I don't know. I mean, who knows what happens in that respect. But with Donald Trump, you saw what happened in Maduro. You see what's happening on American streets. You saw what happened in the state of California, where he put 700 active duty Marines. He didn't send them overseas. Last year, he sent them to the American city, second largest city in the United States of America. He's got 1,500 active folks, members of the military, on call near Minneapolis. This guy is a police state. You got a guy dressed up in SS uniforms.
You're making him sound dangerous.
Dangerous? You seen this guy, Greg Bavino? You see what's happening with ICE and secret police and masked men, people disappearing? Wake up. Where the hell has everybody been? Stop with this bullshit diplomacy of sort of niceties, and somehow we're all going to figure it out. Stop saying one thing privately and another publicly. Have some spine. Have some goddamn balls.
You say you should stand up, but you're not being clear.
I'm being crystal clear.
But we do prefer respect to bullies. We do prefer science to plotism. And we do prefer rule of law to brutality. We have a place where rule of law and predictability is still the rule of the game. And my guess is that it is largely underpriced by the market. Having a place like Europe, which sometimes is too slow, for sure, and needs to be reformed, for sure, but which is predictable, loyal, and where you know that the rule of the game is just the rule of law, it's a good place. And here in the epicenter of this continent, we do believe that we need more growth, we need more stability in this world. But we do prefer respect to bullies, we do prefer science to plotism, and we do prefer rule of law to brutality. You're welcome in Europe, and you are more than welcome to France.
The European Union supports Denmark and the people of Greenland, and we do so united in our resolve. The measures threatened over the weekend by the United States administration will not help improve security in the Arctic. In fact, they risk the opposite. Greenland and Denmark have both made clear that Greenland is not for sale and that their sovereignty and territorial integrity needs to be respected. That fact will not change.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Ruley, Police Chief of the City of Brooklyn Park. Behind me is a bunch of amazing police chiefs that are here in support of a very short but very important message that we want to share with you. What you won't hear from any of us today is rhetoric of abolish ICE or that there shouldn't be immigration enforcement. The truth is, immigration enforcement is necessary for our national security and for local security. But how it's done is extremely important. In fact, we have a long history of working exceptionally well with our federal partners, including ICE agents, and we have seen the best of them perform their job extremely well in the past. With that said, recently, as the last 2 weeks, we, as law enforcement community, have been receiving endless complaints about civil rights violations in our streets from U.S. citizens. What we're hearing is they're being stopped in traffic stops or on the street with no cause and being forced to demand paperwork to determine if they are here legally. As this went on over the past 2 weeks, we started hearing from our police officers the same complaints as they fell victim to this while off duty. Every one of these individuals is a person of color who has had this happen to them. In Brooklyn Park, one particular officer that shared her story with me was stopped as she passed ICE going down the roadway. When they boxed her in, they demanded her paperwork, of which she's a U.S. citizen and clearly would not have any paperwork. When she became concerned about the rhetoric and the way she was being treated, she pulled out her phone. In an attempt to record the incident, the phone was knocked out of her hands, prevented her from recording it. The officer had their guns drawn during this interaction. And after the officer became so concerned, they were forced to identify themselves as a Brooklyn Park police officer in hopes of slowing the incident and de-escalating the incident down. The agents then immediately left after hearing this, making no other comments, no other apologies, just got in their vehicles and left. I wish I could tell you that this was an isolated incident. In fact, many of the chiefs standing behind me have similar incidents with their off-duty officers. This isn't just important because it happened to off-duty police officers, but what it did do is we know that our officers know what the Constitution is, they know what right and wrong is, and they know when people are being targeted, and that's what they were. If it is happening to our officers, it pains me to think of how many of our community members are falling victim to this every day. It has to stop.
I would hope that Mayor Fry, when he's on here, that he'll announce that he's going to start working with us to bring safety to the streets. If he would set up a peaceful protest zone so that these individuals can exercise their First Amendment rights and do so peacefully, we would love that, because then we could work together.
The Secretary specifically called on you to set up a safe zone where protests would be contained. Is that something you're looking at?
First Amendment speech is not limited to one park or one section of the city. You are allowed to protest so long as you're doing it peacefully. And by the way, we've got tens of thousands of people in Minneapolis that are grinning down the bear, that are peacefully expressing their First Amendment rights. So no, you can't have just one section of a city. That's not the way First Amendment works.
This is the person. This is the person who, within minutes of the shooting, went on TV and called it domestic terrorism. What is she, hiding her face like her ICE agents now? She can't show her face either? By the way, is this what the $800 billion went to? Every day we see her after there's some new tragedy in Homeland, she's wearing a different outfit with a different hat. I mean, come on, guys, she looks ridiculous. She's not just an embarrassment to the country. She's an embarrassment to you and the president. Okay, she deserves to be removed from her job by the president, and if not, impeached.
They should follow the law, but let's not get our knickers in a twist here.
Let's not get our knickers in a twist over child rape. Why are you talking like that? It's insane. It's insane. The Epstein Files is a multinational, multi-generational child and woman sex trafficking ring. So your attitude right now, you're sort of like, well, shucks, devil be gone, is just horrifying to me. Every woman in the world that is watching this, why are you acting like you have no idea what's happening here? Scott,
He asked me a question about following the law.
And what I'm
said
saying
they should
to you
follow
is
the
your
law.
attitude. Yeah, and they're not following the law. They're 30 days late on following law, and they didn't explain why they redacted the first things in the first place, which they were also supposed to do.
I know.
Listen,
you
at
have
this
a strong
point, this
opinion
is not.
about it, and
I have a strong
respect
opinion
that.
about it because it is a
But I think
disgusting
they
policy
should do it
that
as
they are
fast as
doing
they
this.
can.
They are hiding it. It is not the behavior of innocent people, and everything that is in these files it could bring an entire house down. And if it has to, it has to. If it brings down Democrats, bring them down. If it brings down Republicans, bring them down. If it brings down princes, world leaders, Hollywood people, bring them down. But what it feels like right now is that there's a giant cabal of people that do not have to listen to the law, do not have to oppose the law, and they were supposed to do something, then they didn't do something, and now they're trying to have a new law that says we don't even have to do it.
And what's really...
I stumped a little 6-year-old girl out on the street. Yeah. So Texas Paul, hope your coffee's as good as mine. Hell, I hope it's better. I really do. I hope you're having a good cup of coffee this morning. New Jersey. Man and his daughter went to go grab some supper, take it home for the family. ICE jumped on the guy. He begged him, please, let me call my wife. My 6-year-old daughter's right there. They left her in the street. Neighbors found her bawling for her father. Just middle of winter, walking down the street by herself. Yeah. Meanwhile, our president was up all night tweeting bizarre, crazy shit because he's lost his mind. And Republicans are doing nothing. Nothing. Because they're spineless and gross. They're filthy human beings. Folks, we have an election coming up in less than 11 months. About 10 months away. It's about 10 months away. Midterm elections. Look, I'm with you. I want to improve the Democratic Party. I want to change the Democratic Party. I want to pull it left. I do. But right now, there are 2 parties in this country. 2. And that's it. That's it. It's time to vote. If you don't get out and vote in this election, this shit escalates. And Democrats had a plan for this. They did. They had a plan. It was modernizing our court systems. It was modernizing our immigration system, bringing it up to date so that we could deal with this, within the Constitution and decently and humanely. The Republicans wanted this. They chose this. They wanted this. They went out and hired a bunch of worthless trash, made them ICE agents, paid them more money than they've ever made in their lives, and they're willing to do anything to anybody, including dumping a 6-year-old kid, little 6-year-old girl out on the street in wintertime in New Jersey.
This is your warning.
For what?
Stop fucking following us. You are impeding operations. This is the United States federal government.
I live over here. I got to get to my house.
This is your warning.
Got to get to my house.
Go home to your kids.
Go to church.
Go to your kids. This is your last warning.
I serve the Lord.
I will arrest you.
Go to church.
I guarantee you're not going to like the outcome. Go home to your children. It's Sunday.
Yeah, go. Exactly. Let people go to church.
You did not learn from what just happened? Go home to
learn
your
what?
kids.
Did you hear that at the end? Didn't you learn from the other day what happened? Direct threats. If you don't comply, we're gonna fucking kill you. Did you see the guy on the other side already had his pistol drawn? These guys aren't fucking law enforcement officers. They are chaos agents. These motherfuckers are just the lowest of the low. They've scraped the bottom of the barrel. They found pieces of shit around this country that needed the cash, that didn't have any fucking morals, that were already racist as fuck anyway. Y'all don't even realize that you're the stupidest motherfuckers in this whole regime, and you're gonna be the first ones made an example of when this shit falls. You saw a bigger paycheck than you ever had in your life, and you thought your dumbass was just gonna fucking cash in on your hate finally. But that's not how this shit's gonna end, and you're gonna get what the fuck is coming to you eventually. The American people clearly aren't standing for this shit, and they never will. So fuck you. The people are not supposed to be afraid of the government. The government is to be afraid of the people. This is gonna continue to happen. They're gonna continue to try and harass and intimidate the American people, but the American people are in charge. Keep standing up to these motherfuckers. Because fuck them, fuck ICE, and fuck every one of these fascists. Do not fucking comply.
They fuck with the wrong city.
Okay!
So I just got back from the Black Lives Matter rally, indoor rally in St. Paul, and oh my God, I cannot put into words how incredible it was, how moved I was by this rally, by the people, by the energy. It was so amazing. Black Lives Matter put it together. The lead organizer, Monique, she did an amazing job putting this together. It was so beautiful. The speakers are they had the organizers from around the city and these speakers, and I cried 3 or 4 times. The indigenous speakers, so powerful. And the American Indian movement, I found out, started here in Minneapolis. I didn't know that. It's incredible. It was a powerful movement. While I was listening to one of the speakers, Monique came over and asked me if I would be willing to say a few words. And I almost said no, because in that room, I feel like a mouse amongst giants. I live in the shadows of these amazing community organizers, these amazing leaders in their community that know how to get the job done. I'm so moved and so proud of them. And I was just humbled that they wanted me to say something. I came to Minneapolis, and I'm going to tell you what I seen when I came to Minneapolis. They fucked with the wrong city. Okay! I've seen ICE indiscriminately tear gas citizens and tell them to go home. And I've seen people here, you guys, say, hell no. Okay. I've seen ICE and federal agents shoot pepper balls. And I've seen you guys stay right where you were. Yes. I've seen ICE kidnapping people off the street and neighbors interrupting and running and jumping. We've seen ICE beat down citizens, and the citizens keep coming back. They truly fucked with the wrong city. And if there's anything I want the rest of America to know, is a couple things. Number one, what's happening here is coming soon to a city near you. Okay. Yeah. And so number two, be like the Twin Cities. This is Dr. King's Day. I've said this 1,000 times, so this is a good opportunity to say it 1,001 times. If we would have just listened to Black, brown, and indigenous people. Come on! I came here in 2020 and protested with Minneapolis. Yes, I knew right then they fucked with the wrong city. I love to tell everybody that everything that I know about this movement, everything I know about activism, everything I know about the true history of this country, everything that I've learned it from Black, brown, and indigenous educators. I say nothing new. I don't have a new perspective to offer you. I was raised in West North Carolina, a white supremacist. I was taught to hate every one of you, and every one of you taught me to love you. The only reason my voice is heard is because it's a white voice saying it. Yeah. And so, two white people, I'm going to close with this. If you stand by and watch this shit happen, and you find some excuse in your head, your complicity will be the reason that it will happen to you. Your complicity will be recognized. If you're a white person, a white body, a white voice, get the fuck up and get outside. White people have lived in the privilege of dodging this stuff for so long. And I think I was in Broadview. I travel a lot. I apologize. I think it was in Chicago. And I heard this white guy saying, oh man, you won't believe what the police just did to me. Brother, I'm going to believe it. You won't believe it because you didn't listen when the black community told you what the police was doing. You won't believe it because you didn't listen when the indigenous community told you what the police are doing. So now it's happening to white people. So if I could please quote Malcolm X. The chickens have come home to roost. So if you're watching what's happening right here in Minneapolis, you may not truly grasp how bad it is, but if you sit by and do nothing, you'll grasp it when it's on your front door. Fuck ICE.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Gonna be the time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
Morning. Good morning, everybody. It is 11:34 a.m. right here in the good old Pacific time zone. We're sitting at, it says 60 degrees outside. Our daytime high only 65 today. Overnight low of 40. I just walked outside while the intro was playing. I ran over to 7-Eleven next door to grab a breakfast sandwich. And I didn't wear a jacket or, I just wore this t-shirt. And if it's 60 degrees, it feels really nice. Now it is, it's sunny. It's sunny out. Now I went and bought this little breakfast sandwich. And I didn't have time to eat it. I heated it up in the microwave. So I'm going to it's still pretty hot. That's the thing. It gets pretty hot. It's hot. It's sausage, egg, and cheese on a croissant, on a fluffy croissant. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed the intro. Lots of good stuff on there today. I thought the thing that really disgusted me the most was Texas Paul telling a story about how ICE just left a little 6-year-old girl. They didn't give a fuck. Freezing cold. They snatched her father, and they just left the little girl to fend for herself. That's what we're dealing with. Cold, heartless, disgusting, just vapid. There's nothing in there. There's no conscience, there's no heart, there's no soul. There's barely a brain, probably. And they have their guns, their pew-pews, I guess I'm supposed to say. I'm probably already cat's out of the bag, I guess. And they want to use them. And they got a taste of it with Renee Good. And they have killed others, but they really got a taste of it with Renee Good, and they've been given the green light to just be as cold and ruthless as they want. So yeah, this is disgusting. And that I also got a cinnamon roll, by the way, that I've been eating during the intro. And I think whoever those ICE agents were that left that little girl out there, as far as I know, she's okay. The people found her, and I guess they got her to where she needed to be. I don't know, but those motherfuckers, they should be taken out somewhere and never found again, as far as I'm concerned. Anyhow, we got Jolie was first. Jolie was first today. Hello, Jolie. Thanks for being here. Sandy Foltz, runner up there. Paul Burrows says, I see Seattle win Super Bowl. Well, you got to get past the Rams first, so, and then get to the Super Bowl. John Glad's here. I'm always glad to see John Glad in the driver's lounge. Paul Burrows says, I have to unload, cut, and stack up my firewood. You all enjoy the hell out of each other. Peace out. All right, Paul. Paul Burrows. P.S. Seattle wins the Super Bowl. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Mr. Spock is here. Live long and prosper. WW laughing out loud. It says 26 minutes, so add at least another 10. What the fuck do you care, WW? You don't even like this show. You know, you don't even like me. You don't like the show. You don't like anything. So just go. Just go somewhere else then. Okay, so we're gonna fill the void there. Let's see, which one is this one? I found a couple of memes I liked. Let's see, what does it say? It says, I'm not afraid to say it. I actually like immigrants a lot. I like their food. I like how they work. I like that they're different from me. They're fantastic. I know I can't be the only American who feels this way. And I'm not. And whoever wrote that, you're not. Unfortunately, we've let ourselves get into a position where minority rules. The minority is ruling. By minority, I mean the minority party. In terms of not who won. I mean, I know the Republicans have the majority, but in terms of there are more registered Democrats than there are registered Republicans. And I think polling shows most independents lean to the left. They lean Democratic. So that's what I mean by minority. I know we are in the minority when it comes to the Congress. But I think that there are way more people that agree with that meme than that don't. And that's why, and that other clip, the guy with the beard, I don't even know who he is, but I like what he had to say. He says, Americans aren't going to put up with this shit. And I agree. I mean, I know sometimes we're slow to react or slow to act. We wish things would go a little faster. But it's going to happen. You know, like I always say, you know, the masses are asses. And what I mean by that is it takes a lot of time for this stuff to filter through, to filter in. But once it gets going, it'll be unstoppable. So if Trump and his goon squad want to keep trampling over our rights, whether it's our First Amendment rights, whether it's our Second Amendment rights, whether it's our Fourth Amendment rights or our Fifth Amendment rights, there will be a reckoning. You know, Trump is always talking about reckoning and redemption or revenge and all this shit. Well, it's going to come back to him. It's going to come back on him. That's what I believe. Mad Max, Slava Ukraini. Hey, Mad Max, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. And Donald Trump, basically using the same rhetoric that Vladimir Putin used for his excuse to invade Ukraine. And now Trump is using the same type of rhetoric for his excuse to want to invade Greenland. Aaron West is here. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. So I believe we are at, let me wait. I know I'm really behind probably in the chat, so I'll wait and see if I get more indication that we are at full mod capacity before I do my little full mod capacity thing. Because it's, Jolie might have left by now. I don't know. Because today is a working day. I think Jolie might be working. Petrazi 1920s here. Hello, Petrazi. Good to see you. Richard from Down Under, our expat from Down Under, is here. DPD is here. Hey, DPD. Anna Moore. Good to see Anna Moore. Bonnie Balcom. Hello, Bonnie. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for joining us today in the Driver's Lounge. Bonnie Balcom says, if Newsom is a dim candidate, I'm voting for him. The MAGAs would lose their shit if he won. Bonnie, I'm voting for whomever our Democratic nominee is. I don't care if it's Gavin Newsom. I don't care if it's Mark Kelly. Fuck, I don't care if it's fucking the mailman down the street, as long as he's got a D next to his name. Not to say that, they're all the same and whatever, but hey, you got a D next to your name, I'm voting for you. Over any Republican. Now, again, I don't want to hear anything like, well, what if it's this guy? What if it's that guy? Whatever, you guys know what I mean. You know what I mean. Christina Sungo Squad is here. Hello, Christina. Bonnie Balcom, I wear my sunglasses at night. I was watching that Macron. That was Macron with the sunglasses on. And I was like, what the fuck, man? Does he think he's so cool? But there are people that do have really sensitive eyes, and maybe there was light shining, on stage there. Maybe that was it. I don't know, but I did think it was kind of funny, like odd, peculiar type of funny. Yeah, Search for You is here. Search for You also was thinking that was funny. Sandy Folt says Trump is on TV now. Well, thanks for the heads up. Victor Harshman says, I never thought I would be rooting against the United States, but that's where we're at now. Fuck Trump. I know. As far as like the other day, I was saying, fuck the USA when it comes to like the World Cup and then the 2028 Olympics. I'm saying fuck it. Everyone should just boycott that shit. I'm telling everybody not to come here, and that's not good for our economy. That's not good for the Las Vegas economy. For me to tell foreigners not to come here, that's a big chunk of our economy here in Vegas. But I wouldn't come here from another country right now, as long as Trump is in office, or as long as any Republicans from now on, from here on out, as long as any Republican that is in the White House, I would not come. Richard says we here in Australia would not put up with the likes of Donald Trump like character. Didn't you have? I don't know if you still have him. Wasn't one of your last I don't know, prime ministers or whatever they're called? Wasn't he kind of Trumpian? Wasn't he kind of a right winger? Ultra conservative. and or something like that. Probably not as bad as Trump, but yeah, DPD Lee ripped that smug asshole a new one. I love her. Yeah, and that motherfucker is a smug motherfucker. I hate that motherfucker. Is that Scott Jennings or whatever? I don't know what his name is, but yeah, he's just yeah. You would just want to knock the smug face right off there. Well, yeah, Christina says, I hope Jersey brings child protection into this and starts a case for that. That's a good idea, Christina. I hope I didn't think about that. They should definitely do a case and try to find the motherfuckers who did that. Anamore says, I'm looking at the intro. So permits to protest is not enough now. We have to have a safe space to exercise our freedom of peaceful assembly. Well, I think the mayor there answered that. Bonnie Balcom, hate your beard, dude. Do you hate my beard? DPD, I called we were talking about this the other day. DPD, I called the office of Cory Booker, Alyssa Slotkin, and Chuck Schumer. I will make my rounds to Hakeem Jeffries and every other motherfucker who plans on rewarding the Nazi Gestapo with more of our money. Good on you, DPD. Good on you. That's how you do it, folks. That's how you do it. Right there. On YouTube right now, I have a YouTube channel playing. I think it might be live. It's in Minneapolis. There's a lot of stuff going on with the police chief. You know, I guess this was from a couple hours ago. I don't know what they're going to do.
These are very specific complaints that are happening literally everywhere in our state. And so we're trying to gather that as a combined voice. And we're really trying to make it clear. We understand that there is a feeling right now that if you stand up and say something, there might be a retaliation against you. None of us want that. None of us are suggesting that there isn't a legitimate lawful authority to operate here as federal agents. But we are trying to come together to say, can we please find a pathway forward? Can we find a way to make sure that we can do these things without scaring the hell out of our community members and freaking everyone out? People are afraid right now, and I get it. We watch the news and we see very, very angry groups of people out protesting. But the people that we're dealing with as police chiefs are the people that are scared to death, that are afraid to go outside, not because their status is in question, but because they're hearing and they're seeing that they know people that are getting stopped by the way that they looked, and they don't want to take that risk. Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah, that's the police chief, St. Paul police chief. I don't know if you guys could hear that or not, but yeah, motherfucker. How about telling ICE to start to stop racially profiling and to stop stripping people of their due process rights? And if not, you're going to kick them out. How about that? I mean, I realize that the police are, they don't want to start a war with ICE, But how about grow a spine and tell ICE, I think they should just tell them to get the fuck out. Because they have shown that they cannot operate within the law. They are breaking the law. They are breaking the fucking Constitution. Why can't they see that? That should be grounds enough for the police to fucking kick ICE out. Maybe I'm naive. I don't know. Maybe I'm being naive right now. You know? Kristen Weible, the Orange Dinky, is speaking on CNN right now. All lies, lies, lies. Liar! He's a liar. Christina Weible says ICE is slave catchers and it's for human trafficking still going on. William is here. Hello, Trucker John. Hello, William. Good to see you. Lug Dragon. Hey, Lug Dragon. Good to see you. Lug Dragon says jury duty got dismissed. Yippee! Oh, you were called into jury duty. I guess is that what you were doing? Let's see. Richard says 25th Amendment time. That would be nice, but I don't see them doing that. Oh, wow, that was really hot. That coffee was so hot. I just took a big swig of it. I forgot how hot it was. Danny Pomeroy says it's 0 in Minneapolis. It's 0. Nice. Nice. Tim Farrell, the Farrell one's here. Hey, Tim, good to see you. Sasha Riley, oh my God, seems credible and just might be able to prove it all. The Epstein files are so much worse than imagined. Yeah, we're talking murder. I mean, out and out murder now. If someone brings up snuff films, what was I saying? And someone, I forget who it was, but they act like, yeah, right, snuff films. No, I that's all within the realm of possibility. There's nothing. Probably just whatever the worst thing you can think of is they probably committed. These are truly evil. You know, we've heard over the years Alex Jones and all these stupid assholes trying to say like Hillary Clinton is the devil, or they're from, you know, they're of the devil. It's all that was all projection. And then they try to equate Bill Clinton. Look, I think Bill Clinton was a horn dog. He liked to get laid. I don't think he was doing anything like unconsensual or whatever. I don't think he was doing anything with underage people. Whatever, you know. But like we've always said, if he's guilty of anything, then, you know, convict him too. But the real, truly evil, demonic, satanic people are these fucking Republicans. That coffee was too hot. Yeah, this Sasha Riley thing, if it's all credible and, you know, and verified and whatever, or to the best, at least as far as like, you know, at least get the timeline right. I heard there's some timeline issues, but let's get that all worked out. And if it all checks out, yeah, bring it on, man. Victor Harshman says ICE posing as Portland General Electric employees to lure people out of their homes to arrest them, totally illegal. Yeah, everything everything they're doing is illegal. Everything. You know, the reason that, well, not the only reason, but one of the reasons why I think like Obama and Biden, they deported more people than Trump has ever done. And we never heard of any of this shit like we're hearing now because they did it the right way. They did it the legal way. They weren't racially profiling people. They weren't just grabbing people willy-nilly. They weren't busting people's doors down and shit, you know? They weren't grabbing people off the street and leaving their little kids on the street, you know? They weren't doing that shit. But it really flies in the face of, you know, like the right-wingers. They're always trying to say, like, the Democrats are soft on immigration and they have open borders. Well, then why does Barack Obama and Joe Biden have more deportations than, you know, probably Trump and Bush combined? I don't know. I haven't added it up. It's because we do things the legal way. We do things the right way. They're the ones that are breaking the law, the Republicans. Yeah, I sometimes I really hate this iPad. I really hate what just happened just now to my screen. David Weiss, I went across the street to 7-Eleven and got the same breakfast sandwich. Oh, you got the sausage, egg, and cheese on the croissant? On the croissant? They're all right. They're all right. I just get it because I'm in a hurry and, you know, and I can just pop it in the microwave real quick. Danny Perlman, John, do you cook at all? Just wondering, you don't fix your own egg sandwich? I do. So I do. I have, of course. That's sort of my specialties. I cook omelets and bacon or sausage, and I can make a sandwich out of it, or I can just eat it, you know, just like off the plate. I don't know why that's even an issue. Look, Dragon. Oh my God, 11:38. Trump is still talking. James Jaramillo's here. Hey, James, good to see you. Just caught up with the intro. Danny Pomeroy, Trump is a Russian troll. Full stop. Laugh my ass off. It sounds just like Putin redemption tour. Search for you. How about those Hoosiers? Yeah, that was quite a game last night, man. Over the U. It was a good game. You know, I don't really I don't really follow college football that much. Seems like in the last quite a while now, I guess. And I don't really, you know, I don't have a dog in the fight there. I'm not really a fan of either one of those teams, but it was a good game. It was a really good game. So congratulations to Indiana, for all the Indiana folks. Victor Harshman says, Jack Smith to testify on Thursday told my wife I'm afraid Comer and Jordan will try to have the sergeant of arms arrest him on some trumped up charges. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? Especially from Jim Jordan, who has been ignoring a subpoena. I believe he is under subpoena to testify before Congress. And I know it's Eric Swalwell he knows the exact day. He was keeping track of it. I think it's been years now where he just ignored the subpoena. You know, and then we have someone like that who is in a position of authority that where he could call sergeant of arms to arrest someone. He's the one that should be arrested. Bonnie Balcom, does Trump sound like a crazy grandpa? He definitely sounds crazy. I mean, he is definitely out of his fucking mind. We have really just a crazy, insane madman at the helm. I mean, and we have for quite a while, but it just seems to get worse and worse every day. Lug Dragon says, now he's rambling on about ending 10 wars. Now it's 10 wars. Huh? Every day the number goes up, I think. Who was it that says that Trump wants to put out the fires that he started? You know. WW just left the Trump presser. It was making me a little sick. A little bit sick. Yeah, I can't stand to watch the guy. I can't stand to watch Trump. He makes me sick. He's disgusting. DPD says, I love that meme, TJ. Beautiful words and truth. Yeah, spoken truth. Yeah, I saw that, and so I was like, gosh, I'll save that one. That was a good one. WW Market has done a huge slide while Trump is on TV singing his own praises. I'm reminded of Nero. Yeah, exactly. And we've seen the parties. The other day they had the party at Mar-a-Lago where they were dressed with like animal masks, animal head masks, and dressed in this sort of Victorian kind of costumes, and just having a grand old time over there at Mar-a-Lago, while the rest of us are having a hard time paying our rent and buying food, putting food on the table. But it's a grand old time down there at Mar-a-Lago. It's totally not only Nero, but it's totally fucking you know, the lead up to the French Revolution times, you know. It's totally the let them eat cake time here. Christina Sungo Squad says, I got a new microwave again, but this time I got a 3-year warranty, so let's hope that if it's going to go out, it goes out before the 3 years. The last two only lasted a year and a half each. Wow, what kind of microwaves are you buying? I've had microwaves that have lasted me 10, 12, 15 years. In fact, that's probably why I've only bought a few microwaves in my life, because I don't know, they seem to want. Maybe I don't use them that much. I don't know. I just use it to heat up breakfast sandwiches and things of that nature. I don't know. WW Trump is sniffing a lot today. So am I, by the way. But I'm not on I'm not snorting Adderall or whatever. I really attribute it to the CPAP machine. Ever since I went back on the CPAP machine, it seems like I have nasal issues or something. I don't know. Barney Balcom says, crazy. Did old man is jacked up on drugs just to keep him functioning. Mr. Spock, I will make an exception in this case. I'm not sure what that was about. Bicycle Mike's here. Hey, guys, I'm alive and kicking. Hey, Bicycle Mike. Good to know you're still alive and kicking. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope things are going well for you. I know you've had a lot of health challenges and things, so hope you're doing okay. DPD says it's a sad state when the only ones who can save the United States of America is our once upon a time European allies. Let that thought sit for a moment. We are we're in a bad spot. But that's why we need to come together. And like, who was it? Was it on Stephanie Miller or today or whatever? Someone's echoing what I've been saying. Like, we need nonviolent, peaceful protests, but where it's not just 7 or 10 million, whatever. We need 100 million people to show up. Danny Pomeroy says our protest was also moved last week. We used to meet in the middle of the city at a small park, one city block. Not sure why. Well, I do know most of the city council are Republicans. Luck Dragon, the only senator I can call is Nancy Pelosi. For one thing, Nancy Pelosi is not a senator, and she's not going to listen to me. She's a House rep. She's your senators. Who are the senators now in California? God, I can't. I don't even know who is it. Schiff and is Schiff a senator, right? Or is he running for senator? No, he's running for governor, right? I don't know. I'm getting confused now. Pelosi's a House representative. She was the Speaker of the House for a bunch of times, so she's not a senator. But for that, so whatever, dude. So yeah, California senators. This is so fucking slow. God damn it. I hate this shit. Oh, Alice Padilla and Adam Schiff. Those are their two senators. Remember, Padilla is the one that got tackled. Could you imagine this? A U.S. senator, a U.S. freaking senator, got tackled. I hate I hate this fucking iPad. I'm trying to go back and it won't let me. It's just stupid. Anyhow, a U.S. senator got tackled to the ground by, I guess those were, was that ICE? I think that was ICE when he was gonna, he had the audacity to want to ask them questions of, I guess that was Kristi Noem, wasn't it? And so that's one of your senators, Luck Dragon, and the other one is Adam Schiff. You can call them. I don't know what district you're in. Maybe Pelosi's your representative in the district that you live in. Bonnie Balka says electric cars bad. I'm not sure why you said that. Catherine Real Hell Talk says Article 2, Section 4, better than the 25th, but whatever works. Anna Moore says, unreal how one demented voice can create such havoc, economic instability, and alienation from our allied countries. Meanwhile, where is the GOP, right? The GOP is cowering. They're still cowering. They're still hiding. They don't want to deal with it. But that's why elections matter. Elections are so important. How many times over my lifetime have I heard people say, my vote doesn't matter, my vote doesn't count, or I don't care about politics. Well, politics cares about you. In that it affects your life. What goes on politically, it affects your life. So you better damn well start caring. You better damn well start getting involved. No longer can we go through our lives with our heads buried in the sand. Because this is what happens. We get a buffoon in here like fucking Trump. And this is what people mean when they say that being president is the most powerful position in the world. Because everything you do, everyone sees it and gets influenced by it. Everything you do, everything you say. That's why it is so important who we choose. And to not take it lightly, to not be cavalier about it. It does matter. It matters very much. Victor Harshman says, if the Sasha Riley tapes are real, holy shit. Catherine Real Health Talk says that 21st Century Suffragettes had a 3-hour Zoom thing last week, listening to the Sasha Riley stuff. I wouldn't listen to it. That too vile. I have not listened to it, but not because it's too vile. I just haven't taken the time to do it. But Walter Makarovich, Indiana, and Jolie 16-0. Is that what they were? Is Indiana 16-0 this year? Were they undefeated? Wow. Look, Dragon says, I know you're right. I've actually called Chuck Schumer's office before. I actually think they are going to at least make some provisions before they give more money to ICE. Yeah. I think that's a good idea. I think we should flood Chuck Schumer's office with phone calls saying, no, not one more dime goes to those motherfuckers. Not one more dime. We do not want any more of our money going to an organization that is fucking us up, that is attacking us, that is killing us and beating us and locking us up. Why should our tax dollars go to that? Bounty Balco says Trump has threatened to sue and tried to threaten other people speaking out against him. He had never said anything about Noel Castor or Sasha Riley. Because they got the goods, they got the receipts. Catherine Real Hot Dog says, Chuck Schumer is a pussy. There, I said it. I can. I'm a girl. Bicycle Mike said over 200 aftershocks from yesterday's 4.9 magnitude earthquake. I didn't even know there was an earthquake. Where was the epicenter? Uh-oh. Erin West says that her friend is getting threatened by the HOA because of her fuck ice sign. Oh, Bicycle Mike says it was in Indio. Down in Indio. For those of you who don't know, that's just south of the Palm Springs, Palm Desert area. DPD says, my question would be, if Sasha Riley is lying, why don't Clarence Humpback Thomas, Jim Diddler Jordan, Miss Lindsay Ladybug, and Graham, and Orange pedophiles sue him? I would if it were all lies. Michael Andrews for the 25th time. Bicycle Mike says Trump can't afford discovery on lawsuits. He would incriminate himself. That's why that was kind of a rhetorical question, I think, about why don't they sue? Because we already know the answer because of what Bicycle Mike just said. Victor Harshman says, how about if you do not show up to a congressional subpoena, you go directly to jail until you show up? Yeah. Act like it's so hard. Catherine Hill talk, toaster ovens are better than microwave. Bonnie Balcom, I need a microwave that chops up vegetables, seasons everything correctly, then cooks it. That sounds like one of those AI robot, maybe. Yeah, oh yeah. WW says, Bonnie, they're coming. They like to be called robots. Yeah, it's funny. WW and I had sort of the same thought there. Mrs. Block, Ross Perot should run in 2028. I think he's dead, for one thing. And number two, like I said yesterday, third-party candidates are not going to win. Unless you're really one hell of a candidate. Ross Perot was not that great of a candidate, if you ask me. Yeah, I don't know what the big allure of Ross Perot is or was. The only thing that he made that he ever said that made any sense was about NAFTA and the big sucking sound it was going to create when all the manufacturing were going to leave, and he was right about that. And I always agreed. I agreed from the moment he said it. But For this guy to be president of the United States, no, thank you. WW, we could always bring back Sleepy Joe. Could we though? Could we? DBD says, TJ, have you considered investing in Cook Unity? You would save money and be able to eat chef prepared meals. It's not that expensive. I think I've been seeing those ads. I know for was it last year? I tried. Was it Factor or something like that? I had one shipment and I wasn't really that impressed with the food. You know, I've thought about those food service things, and for a while I didn't get them, but when I was on the road, this is a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. I for a couple of years, I remember I was shipping. What's the first kind of big company that did that? What's it called? I can't remember the names. I'm bad at names now for some reason. But anyhow, it was one of the other food things, one of the most famous ones. And I was having a ship both to my son and to my daughter. I was sending them food because I wanted to make sure that they had food. I knew they were, I don't know, they were going to college and they were out on their own. And so I remember sending them food, and they seemed to like it. You know, they didn't complain. They were getting like weekly shipments of boxes of food shipped to them. But I never got any for myself. But then, like I said, I think it was a year or two. I did try that one of them. I think it's called Factor. That's not the one that I was getting for my kids. The one for my kid is the good one, the famous one. But anyhow, and I wasn't impressed with it, with the food quality, and for the money, I figured I'd rather just go shopping. But this Cook Unity, I think I've maybe seen some of those ads. I think they always look better on the ads, the food, than when you actually get it, than what you actually get. I'd rather just go shopping, quite frankly, and just make my own stuff. Or DoorDash. I don't mind that. I know it's I know it's expensive or whatever, but last night I ordered DoorDash. I got this really good chicken. It's a pasta dish. I think it's called chicken marsala, and it was delicious. In fact, that they had a 2-for-1 special, so I got another serving of it. I'm going to have, I guess, tonight or this afternoon. It was really good. So anyhow, I know that's expensive and everything, but you know, I like what I like. Bicycle Mike, Apple products suck. I don't think so. I think my iPad is probably almost 10 years old or something. You know, it's seen better days. I think Apple products are pretty good, so I like them. WW says Alex Padilla, California senator, tackled by members of Christian Home's security detail. Okay, it wasn't nice, and he was not shocked by the arrest of he was not shocked by the arrest of New York mayoral candidate Brad Lander. Oh, I probably saw videos of that, but I don't remember the names and stuff. Surrender Monkey is here. Surrender Monkey says it's fine from across the pond. By the way, Surrender Monkey says it's fine. Only your overlord, President Trump, knows how the government works and how it's structured. Yes, Surrender Monkey, you are right. Where would we be without Donald Trump? Because he knows everything. He's so smart. And everybody else is so stupid. You're right. Yeah, you nailed it, Surrender Monkey. You nailed it. Doug Dragon, anyway, I think Swalwell would make a better Speaker of the House and take over Nancy's seat rather than governor. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right. You might be right. But, you know, you can't make people do what they don't want to do. He wants to run for governor. He's probably thinking, Gavin Newsom has gotten a lot of, I guess, publicity out of it. And that's put him on a presidential run. I mean, like I said, no one has announced yet, but everyone's pretty sure Gavin Newsom is going to run for president, and he might win. So Eric Swalwell might be thinking, this might be maybe a good route if he has any presidential aspirations down the road. So, it's a personal decision. Gary Johnson says, yeah, Alex Padilla, he's one of ours here in SoCal. He was trying to ask Cunty Gnome about the Gestapo in LA streets. Yeah, that's right. Now, yeah, I remember that was when a few months back when ICE was in LA and all that shit. And they tackled him. But can you imagine that? They knew who he was. They knew. Come on, they knew who. They knew they had to know that he was a fucking senator. And they fucking manhandled him and pushed him and everything. That was just. Can you imagine if they did that to fucking any Republican? It would be like the end of the fucking world. If a Democratic politician or a cabinet member, cabinet secretary, if their security team, grabbed I don't know who's over there, fucking Mitch McConnell, and threw him to the ground. Can you imagine the fucking outcry? We'd never hear the end of it. We would never have heard the fucking end of it. About how Democrats are just out of control. They're bullies and they're rogue and all this shit, WW says, not sure what Hakeem's got going for him, but his caucus seems to love him. Might have something to do with New York money. Hakeem might serve a purpose, whether you like him or not. He might be able, his strength might be once the House takes control and he's the speaker. His strength might be in just getting people together, or at least in voting and whipping up votes and all that kind of shit. Gary Johnson says, yeah, I hate how much I talk about politics now. I'm one of the few that keeps up with the shit, and I'm a fucking moron. You and me both, Gary. I'm a fucking moron too, but I think it's important to try to know at least some basic shit that's going on, Serena Monkey says, gotta give you kudos for the correct use of the word cunty. She's a bit cunty. Yes, she's cunty. Bonnie Malcolm, Gary, just wait until you start dreaming about politics. There's no escape. Gary Johnson says, dude, if even a fraction of Sasha Riley tapes is true, it explains why Taco is willing to burn it all down. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're right. Hey, Nefarious Enough is here. Hey, Nefarious, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for popping in and saying hi to us, to the group, and to me and everybody. DPD says, now, TJ, a fucking U.S. senator was accosted by a Nazi Gestapo because he has brown skin. Oh, but what we must remember, they can be reformed with a little more compassion and empathy. Yeah, right. Whatever. I don't know what your point is there. I mean, we know they're assholes. We know the Republican Party is a bunch of assholes. We know that, and that wasn't ICE. That was her security team. But I don't know. I'm not sure what your point is. I mean, I know that. I already know. what do I keep saying every day? Vote blue no matter who. Don't vote for Republicans. Stop voting for Republicans. I say it every fucking show. So I don't know, what your point is. Look, Dragon says until it is verified that Sasha Riley tape might be a plant by the protectors to sow mistrust into other survivors. Don't fall for it. Release the files. Well, now the Trump administration and the Pam Bondi DOJ, they're doing everything in their power not to release it, the files. Sir Mulkey says, this is another Veritas disinformation campaign, right? Just like when they tried to discredit victims of every other Trump-affiliated sex pest. What is the Veritas disinformation campaign? The Sasha Riley thing? Catherine Real Hot Talk says there was an earthquake in southern Illinois too. Really? Wow. Overnight. Wow. In southern Illinois. That doesn't happen too often out there. Look, Dragon says we had like 20 earthquakes in December. I don't think I felt one yet in January. Catherine Real Health Talk says, I heard somebody suggested that schizophrenia and paranoia run rampant in the administration. I challenge that. It's antisocial personality disorder. Read about the traits. Discuss. Well, I think there probably is a lot of paranoia, for sure. Schizophrenia, who knows? I wouldn't be surprised. But I do think they're probably all a bunch of sociopaths, especially Trump. He's definitely a sociopath. He's definitely a sadist. He doesn't care who he hurts. In fact, he enjoys hurting people. He enjoys seeing other people hurt. So he's a sadist and he's a sociopath. And I think there's a lot of like-minded people that he's got around him. They're just like him. Stephen Miller, for one. They're all a bunch of sickos, one way or the other. I mean, I would encourage them to get the help that they need, in psychotherapy or whatever, but they do not need to be running the government. That's for sure. These fucking psychos do not need to be running our government. U.S. economy is getting worse, even as Trump was elected to fix it. This is the polling. In November, 42% agreed with that. In September last fall, it went up to 56%. So this is a show. Something's playing on about this polling here. Top issue for you right now: inflation 34%, economy 16%, Medicare 14%. Trump approval rating, the economy 36%, cost of living 30%. Yeah, Trump's numbers are in the tank. Trump's numbers, yeah, just the lowest I've ever seen any president be. Let's see. Luck Dragon says Alec Baldwin is really good. I think Sarah Palin would be a better president, but only if Tina Fey played her. Please. We don't want Alec Baldwin as president. Blue Apron. No, it wasn't Blue Apron. The most famous one. The most well-known one. Chicken masala is delicious. Yeah, I had that last night. It was great. I'm going to have it again today. I got a 2-for-1 special. Swinner, I wrote nose instead of nose on purpose. Oh, really? I just auto-corrected it for you when I was reading it. Oh, are you guys talking about who does the best impersonations? Okay. Well, then I'll give you that one. Alec Baldwin was really good as impersonating Trump. Brooklyn, Pat Paulson ran for president. Yes, he did. I think more than once. For a while there, it was like every election. I think until shortly before he died. WW. Now he's telling everybody how proud God is of him, laughing out loud. I'm not even watching it. Let me see if I can. Should I see if I can find it? Let's see. Top news. Trump just went all in. But that's not really live. Trump is live. Is Trump still on? I'm just on YouTube. It's hard to find shit on YouTube sometimes. Like when there's something you want to watch or you want to check out. Everything is so buried. Everything everything gets so fucking buried. So listen live, Supreme Court. Live recommendations. But there's nothing of Trump. Here's news. Local news, live now news. Winter sports, frontline. Top news. Trump calls for insurrectionists to storm. But that's not him live. This is all taped stuff. National news. There's nothing live. World news, entertainment, sports. Las Vegas news. We will own our mistakes. Colorado River snowpack decline threatens water levels. That's always big out here because we need water all the time. Live right now, the New Mexico governor gives the 2026 State of the State address in New Mexico. I think this is over with. It says live news. Trump speaks at White House press briefing. Is that what you guys were talking about? He was at a press briefing? And he just like bumped into it? Now they got, is it Bovino? Now they got Bovino. Is that the one you guys are talking about?
Rather than the baseless legal tactics aimed at intimidating public servants standing shoulder to shoulder.
I don't think it's live or whatever. Bovino, talk about a Nazi. Talk about a psychopath. Talk about a sociopath. Right there is a good example. Mr. Spock, you were assuming there will be a midterm. Exactly. I'm going to assume that there is. I cannot do otherwise. And to do otherwise would be folly. We need to assume there's going to be a midterm. We need to be ready to vote. We need to make sure we're registered. Check it all the time. Check your registration. Get to know the rules, whatever rules they're going to have. Know where you're going to drop it off. You're going to drop off, or where your polling place is, or if you're going to mail it in. We have to. Stop with this bullshit. That the elections aren't going to handle. That's what they want you to think. They want to suppress the vote. They want people to give up. Stop giving into them. My God, if I hear one more person say that there's not going to be a midterm election, My head's going to explode. That's what they want us to think. So we'll just give up and not vote. Don't give in to them. Don't give in to the bastards. WW, elections are run by states. Dirty Donnie would have a difficult time suspending the Constitution. Unless he can declare martial law. I think that's his only avenue. To declare martial law on the whole country. But that would take a lot. It would have to be like something out of a movie, right, where the whole entire country is just burning down, or something. Sandy Foltz, hi, I'm back. Hello, Sandy. Good to see you. Christina Sun goes well. I've been listening, but I was trying to pack and clean up a little bit because I'm going to be going to Indiana, speaking of Indiana, to my daughter's to watch my grandson while she has surgery in the beginning of February. Well, have a good trip, and I hope everything goes well with your daughter and her surgery. MJ Daniel from up there in Washington State says, seems to me this entire administration are sociopaths and psychopaths. That's what I kind of said. And should be in an institution for our safety. And absolutely. I wish they would get the care that they need. And they have no business being in the halls of Congress or in the White House. WW says we had elections in 1812 after they burned down Washington. We had them during every war, including the Civil War. Yeah. Blood Dragon says it's paranoid dystopia within a flock of megalomaniacs. Megalomaniacs. I have a hard time with that word. Sprinter Monkey says Timba on toast, whatever that means, does some amazing research and precise breakdowns of right-wing fuck nuggets. Trump calls MAGA affiliated press. Oh, okay. All right, then. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to change out memes. Here's one. What was this one? This one says, okay, Hillary Clinton was right. Anita Hill was right. Michelle Obama was right. Kamala Harris was right. E. Jean Carroll was right. Please start listening to women. Absolutely, 100%. I agree, 100%. It seems like all of my favorite, like political people that I listen to, they're all women. AOC and Elizabeth Warren. I love all of them, and we need to start listening to the women more. That's for sure. This good old boys club needs to come to an end. And then in the intro, we got New Jersey's got a new mayor, a new governor, a woman governor. Who was it that this the other day was it Virginia or something like that? Something like that. Had their first woman governor in the history of the state. Absolutely. Women make up the majority of the population. You'd think that they would be equally represented in government. Brooklyn SJU is here. Hey, Brooklyn, good to see you. How you doing, Brooklyn? How you doing? Sandy Foltz, did you work last night? Nope, didn't work. Bonnie Malcolm, was it Schwann's Food? No, it's not Schwann's Foods. No, the most famous, well-known food delivery service that you get online. You guys, why can you guys not remember it? I didn't know you guys had as bad memory as I do. Not Schwann's. They come around in trucks. I'm talking about you order it online and they deliver it in a box with dry ice or whatever. MJ Daniel, I noticed says that I noticed that ICE did not take the time to ask that family with the 6-month-old who they voted for. So do Republicans really think they are safe from this just because they voted GOP? Well, they're finding out that they're not, especially if they're a Republican that's a person of color. I think all the whiteys are feeling pretty safe, even though they did shoot a white woman in the face. But maybe that's a wake-up call to all the whiteys, you know. Josh Sees is here. Hey, Josh. Good to see Josh Sees in the old driver's lounge. The Soulcraft RSBN is where I find him when he's live. RSBN, huh? Okay. Bad Mac is still here, but buried in work today. Christina says, yeah, everyone's listening to John while they're busy. Bunch of lurkers. You guys are a bunch of lurkers out there, aren't you? Aren't you now? Bunch of working lurkers. Working and lurking. Hello Fresh, DPD. There you go. Hello Fresh. That's the big one. That was the first big famous one. DPD, let's see. Home Chef, Hello Fresh. Yeah, it's Hello Fresh. I've never even heard of Orc Tempo. Orc Tempo. Sounds like an orc is going to deliver it to your house. No, thank you. But thanks for, yeah, Hello Fresh. It's Hello Fresh. They were like, they're the most famous, well-known home delivery food service there is. I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to that. W says it was a scheduled press conference. Okay, all right. All right. Christina Sun goes, so DPD, I hear HelloFresh is fabulous. I never tried it because I have an air fryer, laugh it out loud, and a stove, so I can manage to make some fun stuff. Yeah, HelloFresh is what I was sending to my kids like a few years ago when they were off to college, and I just wanted to make sure they had food. And they always said it was good. So, but I never tried it myself. Brooklyn, big ratings if your head explodes. MJ Daniel, there will be a midterm, and every eligible American voter needs to get out and vote for Democrats no matter what. Absolutely. Thank you, MJ Daniel. At least I've got one person on my side. Yes. Now, like I've said, they might have a bunch of ICE assholes around the polling areas. They might not have as many drop boxes. They might, try to do all these type of things. But there's going to be midterm elections. And we need to be ready for whatever they throw at us. That's what I'm saying. Be ready for it, so you won't be taken by surprise, and you can get your vote in. I'm going to do what I always do. I either mail mine in, or I think the last time I just dropped mine off because the polling place was literally the next street over from where I lived. So I just dropped it off. They have a drop box right there. I filled out my ballot and just went and dropped it off. Easy peasy. It was easy peasy. But that was then. This is now. Victor Harshman says, my fear is we win the midterms, that Mike Johnson shuts the government down and doesn't seat them. Constitutional crisis. Let's deal with one thing at a time. Okay, we have the elections. We're going to vote. Now, what was that I heard? That whole thing is really just a ceremonial thing? That there was, well, Anyhow, I don't think they do that for the midterm. Anyhow, do they? Or I guess if he doesn't seat the new Congress, it's not like I was thinking about what Pence was doing for the president. That was the presidential election. So for the midterms, do they even do that? I mean, I guess so, but I don't know. If Mike Johnson tries to do that, yeah, it'll be a constitutional crisis. But I think I think he will probably get the shit beat out of him or something. I don't know. Bonnie Malcolm, Victor, go sit in a timeout seat, step for a while. DPD, I know, right, Christina? But these services work out great for those who don't cook. Bonnie Malcolm, so TJ is. I've always been a feminist. What are you kidding me? If feminist means, okay, I've always I've always been in favor of equal rights and women's rights, civil rights, equality, all that shit. If that makes me a feminist, then I guess I'm a fucking feminist. I believe in equal rights for everyone, regardless of your gender. Okay? I don't know why it's so hard to be a feminist, or so hard to call yourself a feminist, or so hard to believe in equality and equal rights. If you're an American, you're supposed to believe in equal rights. That's the way I've always been taught to believe. MJ Daniel, Democratic women. The Republican women are just as bad shit as the men, at least. Yeah, but I still believe in equal rights for everyone. Petrazi, is it HelloFresh? Yes, HelloFresh. It's HelloFresh. Certainly Monkey says, God damn it, did I forget to mention, I do not sound like that. I sound like someone trying to sell you Hovis bread. I have no idea what Hovis bread is, by the way. But as far as I'm concerned, Senator Monkey, this is how you sound. Right? By Malcolm, don't get me wrong, feminists are cool. I'm an egalitarian. See, all these labels, I don't like fucking labels. I don't even know what an egalitarian is. I've heard the term. I don't know what it is. I don't think I even care to know what it is. I don't even give a fuck. I believe in equality and equal rights. Like I said, if that makes me a feminist, then I'm a feminist. If there's some big, long definition of what a feminist is, I don't give a fuck. I really don't give a fuck. All I care about is equality. So, there you go. I just care about equality. Equality for everyone. Equal rights. I don't know why we need all these fucking labels. I really don't know why we need all these fucking different fucking goddamn labels. I'm a Democrat, and I believe in equality. That's really all I need. That's all I need right there. I really don't need to be. I really don't even need to be labeled as a progressive. I don't need to be labeled as a liberal. I don't need any of that shit. I'm a Democrat and who believes in equality. Okay, there. That's all I need. Yeah, Spamberger. That's the one in Virginia. There you go. DPD. Governor Abigail Spamberger was just sworn in state of Virginia, and I believe she was the first female governor in the state of Virginia in the history of Virginia, which is kind of amazing. Christina Sun Go Squad, I'm an American citizen and I go vote in a church, so let them try to come over there. I'm voting. Damn right. See, they're messing with if they want to mess with the voting like that and try to prohibit people from voting, they're going to be in for a big surprise, I think. Of the backlash, you know. Look, Dragon, Morton's Steakhouse needs to make a deal with FedEx Express. We got a Morton's right down there, about 5 miles, maybe 8 miles. I don't know. MJ Daniel says voting here is great. That's up in Washington State. We get a voter info pamphlet, and our ballots well before the election. Return is free, and there is a drop box about every 3 miles. And that's because you live in a good blue state. You know? Sin City's here. Hey, Sin City, Nevada's here. Oh, Sin City. Shit. Are you going to go protesting today? Was that today? Out in front of Bellagio? Of the Bellagio? Yeah, Victor Harshman says Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bovino giving a presser talking about arresting child rapists. Jesus fucking Christ. See, that's what they do. They just they're a one-trick pony. All they know is to try to just utilize scare tactics. And they say these big, bad, scary things, you know, to create this image that all these immigrants are these big, bad, scary people. When there are more child rapists that are homegrown right here in America that are white, probably. You know? Those are the ones you got to watch out for. WW New Congress is sat. So the monkey, oh, for fuck's sake, I sound like the Beatles did. I'm from that area. I forgot you guys know that shit. Well, what does that have to do with harvest bread? I don't know what harvest bread is. Mr. Spock, spam. WW hummus bread? Wonderful spam. Talking about spam. Luck Dragon says for the first 10 minutes of Donald Trump's press briefer, he held up pictures of people he said ICE apprehended in Minneapolis. Why don't I believe him? That's the problem. Pretty hard to believe someone who has been documented to have lied in just his first term alone over 30,000 times. Yeah, so it's hard to believe anything that comes out of that fucker's mouth. DPD 5844 says, I would suggest requesting your absentee ballot as early as possible. And TJ, the dean of the House, is the one who swears in the new speaker. Then the speaker swears in Congress. And why would he not do that? I really think that the House representatives would rush his podium and beat the fuck out of him if he didn't seat them. WW, some of us are just a little more equal than others. You need to be empathetic and introspective and altruistic, but liberals are also pro-free markets and private property. Yeah, so what? I don't need all these labels. I don't need egalitarian and all that shit. And I really don't need to be called a feminist just because I believe that women should have equal rights. I'm for equality. Sandy Foltz says the Rams are playing on the Football Network station. It's probably a replay, Sandy. It's a replay. Their next game is going to be Sunday against the Seahawks at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. Catherine Real Hot Talk says, dearest Denmark and Greenland and Ukraine and those of the civilized and sane people of the world, please know and believe that we, the sane and civilized people of the USA, did not vote for this actually do not want a world ruled by pedophiles and pedophile protectors, ruled by severely temperamental and disastrously immature and treacherously psychopathic people. Well, unfortunately, I think about 77 million of us did vote for it. For that. DPD 44 says, however, keep in mind that the vice president who serves as the president of the Senate is responsible for swearing in the Senate. So it's all on Smokey Eye Vance. Okay, if they don't swear in, do you realize what upheaval this would cause? I mean, do they want that heat? Does JD Vance want that kind of heat? Does Mike Johnson want that kind of heat? Because if that happens, then we will see an uprising of the people, I believe. We will have a legitimate reason to Jan 6 these motherfuckers if they do that. Give us a reason. Just give us a reason. We will do it. That would be a good enough reason. If they're not going to seat and swear in the House reps and the senators, you'll see a Jan 6 on steroids, motherfuckers. Those motherfuckers. Swerve Monkey says Hovis is a British whole wheat bread originating in our area because we are all fatties who love pies and buddies, which are apparently sandwiches. Sometimes I feel like we speak different languages. And we do. Luck Dragon says, anyway, I hope the Rams go to the Super Bowl because as a Raiders fan, I cannot stand the other three teams. Seahawks used to be in our division. Go Rams. Yep. I'll second that motion. Victor Harshman says President Donald Trump has invited accused war criminal Vladimir Putin to join his Board of Peace initiative. Of course he did. Kim Jong-un's on there probably, or whatever that dude's name is. Who else is in there? Maybe from his prison cell. I wouldn't. He'd probably put Maduro in there. He'd be like, okay, he's in prison right now. Yeah, I'm the one who locked him up, but he's on my board also. That's just how crazy this fucker is. And crazy not in a fun, haha kind of way. Crazy in a fucking horrible kind of way. Sandy folks, who is in Washington State? That would be MJ Daniel. MJ Daniel from Washington State. Catherine Real Hell Talk says, what we actually want is a world where all living beings have their basic needs met comfortably, where the world will see that rewarding bad behavior, let alone over and over and over, is not okay. Hear, hear. Catherine Real Talk says, that's what we really want. WW says, I think that an egalitarianism isn't just okay to be for equal rights. You must actively work towards such a goal. Dude, I don't need to be scrutinized. I'm just saying, I'm all for equality, okay? Swinner Monkey says, I can't wait until Trump steals the Super Bowl trophy and you fuckers invent football hooliganism. Brooklyn, Trump's board of peace. Yeah, he's board of peace. Barbara Nicholas, hey Barbara, good to see you. Barbara says, hi everyone, couldn't participate earlier phone call with the son. You got my attention now. I'm ready to rumble. All right, Barbara Nicholas. Just don't shag us out of the room or whatever. But thanks for coming on in. I appreciate you. I do appreciate you. Oh, there's Bovino. Yeah, I can't stand that little fucker. He's a very inserious man that his actions are very serious repercussions. Let's see, what is he saying here?
When that is not true. So we're going to continue to be out in the community, and we're going to continue to conduct that mission, that legal, lawful Title 8 mission. And, again,
this is Greg Bovino.
My Border Patrol agents, Marcos is out constantly with his troops. And what I see out there is a very professional, prudent, and thoughtful law enforcement.
Oh my God. What a lying piece of shit.
System, then do it.
Can you guys hear this?
Don't encourage anarchists to utilize a 911 system that hurts other Americans that may need to use that system. A law enforcement professional should know that.
Oh my God. What a fucking lying piece of crap. Talk about smug, arrogant. And he's leaving now.
All right, as you see, there are some reporters at the last minute still trying to shout some questions towards those DHS agents speaking there on immigration enforcement and operations that are happening in Minneapolis.
The smugness that at which these fuckers operate, Bovino and Christy Nome, God, it's so infuriating, isn't it? It's just so infuriating. The lies that come out of their mouths, you know, the fucking lies, and how they just say it without even batting an eyelash. The lies just roll off their tongue so naturally. Oh my God, they're just sickening. Barbara Nichols, I thought you were looking at your window. No, my TV is, well, it's right next to the window. Sort of Monkey says if they were indeed right about their presence, they wouldn't have to lie about it on TV. Everything they say is a lie. And we can see it with our own eyes. We can see with our own eyes what they're doing. We can see them just grabbing people for no reason, no apparent reason other than the fact that they're a person of color. You know? And then we see how they lied about Renee Good. She was just trying to get out of there. She was not trying to run anybody over. And she's being yelled at. It's like, open the door, get out of here, open the door, get out of here. You know, all this conflicting commands. So, yeah, just lie after lie after lie. WW says, do you think that the government will be shut down all summer? I haven't given it 1 second of thought. So I guess I'm supposed to know. I'm supposed to just come up with some sort of an answer on something that I have not thought about, not 1 second on. So I'm not going to answer that unless you're asking someone else. I refuse to answer something that I have not given 1 second of my time to thinking about. I don't know. Is that when the next continuing resolution ends? I don't even know. First I'm hearing of it. Serena Monkey says, you guys need to keep reporting Gorka. Yes, Gorka. To ICE. He has an accent and he'd get fucked. Gorka. Yes. ICE. Go pick up Gorka. Check him for Gorka's papers. Brooklyn SU says cranberry dates and raisins sound so good. Yeah, those are okay. Snack on, I guess. Serena Monkey. Where is Jolie? She's probably working. Jolie has a real job now. I think she's at work at the BMV. But we got Aaron. I believe Aaron's still here. I think so. Anyhow. But anyhow, guys, I think I am going to call it a day. I need to shag out of here. I probably should go to work today. I didn't go to work last night. I just figured Mondays are really slow, and although I'm not sure if, because I think it was Martin Luther King Day, it might have been busier, but I didn't go. But I'm going to go today. So, Aaron West is here. I'm here working at the same time. Everyone's working and lurking. Thanks, Aaron, for being here. I appreciate you. But that's it for today, guys. Let's just keep at it. Let's keep at it. Let's like I said, let's just plan on voting. Let's get ready to vote. Get ready to rumble. And if something happens where we can't vote, then we'll have an uprising. We'll just have ourselves a nice little merry little uprising. But make sure you can vote. Remain vigilant. Be careful. Head on a swivel. Especially if you're in a red state. Or I guess I don't know. That's what I'm not sure if they're going to do much in the red states, because they just figure that's friendly ground and they don't have to do anything. They'll probably try to load up the blue states and blue cities with ICE officers and that kind of stuff. But man, if you can vote by mail, do it. If you can find a safe way, But that's why we need to start thinking about it now, to be prepared. Be prepared to vote. Assume you're going to be able to vote, but also know ahead of time like the best way and the safest way to do it. Because if all these special elections are any indication of what's going to happen in November, I think we're going to do very good. We're going to do really well. DPD 5844 says the Nazi Gestapo should know, in order for them to receive the $50,000 sign-on bonus and pay off their student loans, they need to be on the job for 5 years. I hope they read the contract. Yeah, I didn't know about the 5 years, but I did know, that it wasn't like they weren't going to get paid up front. Yeah, I knew that. And I knew they were going to break it down over time. I didn't know it was 5 years, but yeah. And more no weirdos tonight. Well, we'll see. You never know. WW says, well, the government will shut down next week. What does that have to do with summer? I don't know. Barbara Nicholas, I watch a YouTuber that did 90-day finance. Now went politically and had tons of his facts wrong. Idiot. Oh, 90-day fiance. Okay. Brooklyn, 45 rides tonight, and you're done for the week. Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. I'll probably get 7 to 10, 7 or something like that. Sandy Fultz, Trump has 3 more years in office. I know. 3 fucking more years, Sandy. I hope we survive it. I hope we survive it. It's just, the Biden 4 years that flew by. These times with Trump as president, they take for fucking ever. The first term took forever. It aged me 10 years at least. This one's probably going to age me 20 years. Barbara Douglas, you better get your shagging ass to work tonight. Sandy Foltz says, message for MJ Daniels. What part of Washington State do you live at? Alvin Stubbs saying howdy to Brooklyn. Anyhow, all right, guys. I guess that's it for today. Let's see here. Did you guys see all my football videos? I was playing around with with Meta or whatever it's called. It's like, like that's just from Zuckerberg and Facebook, but they have with their AI stuff. And I was putting myself in my old self into a St. Louis Rams, by the way, uniform, and making it look like I was playing. That was fun. I was having fun, just fun. And then the other stuff, that's actual real pictures of me, like when I was in high school and college. And then, but then it was a still photo, but then the actual video that's made by that AI thing. So I was just having fun, just having some fun, because you know me, I like to have fun. Yeah, old Trucker John, he loves to have fun, 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 fun. He's just nothing but fun. Oh boy, so much fun. Fun, fun, fun till your daddy takes your T-bird away, I guess. I don't know. The fun around here, it's just, I can't tell you. I can't tell you how fun it is. Yada, 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 yada. Or is it yada, yada, yada? Yada, yada, or yada, yada? I don't know. I don't know. But one thing I know for sure is you're going to have a good time. Did you guys have a good time? Like the theme song promises? Sometimes I wonder. A little bit of false advertising there with the good time, with the promises of the good time. Sometimes I don't think we have such a good time. Anyhow, guys, thanks for being here, and take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, guys, have a good one. I just want to say, just take care, everybody. These are trying times. I know it's really trying times. So let's just try to do the best we can. Let's hang together. Let's find good groups to hang out with, of like-minded folks, and we'll get through this together. These next 3 years are going to be long and arduous, but let's make the best of it. Purple power, people. Just remember purple power. And thank you guys so much. All right, Paul, Purple Beard Guy, with some sincerities. Oh, you know what? I did have another meme I was going to put up. Well, talking about women, there was a sort of a real women-y kind of thing. It says, because it has a picture here of a woman. It says, remember, children, following illegal orders could make you a war criminal. Yeah, I saw that. I was gonna put that up and talk about that for a little bit. But that's kind of old news, I guess. About acting like war criminals and stuff. It seems like that whole thing is out of the news now, isn't it? We blew up a bunch of boats, killed a bunch of people, but it's not in the news anymore. So I guess we move on. We just move on. MoveOn.org. I don't know. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 a.m. I'm just going to do 11 a.m.s for a while across the board, Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, right here on the Trucker John channel. We'll see you again. We'll meet up again and hang out and find out more about HelloFresh. I don't know. And we will talk about whether or not we're going to be able to vote in November or not. We are. We're going to vote. We are. Make sure you can vote. All right. I'll see you guys. Then now the only thing we got to do is, words of wisdom. Let's do those words of wisdom. I do have some. I wrote them down right here. Words of wisdom. You guys ready? Ready to take this down? Got your pen and paper down, or pen and pad? Okay, guys. So here you go. For today's words of wisdom.
And stop being complicit. It's time to stand tall and firm, have a backbone. I can't take this complicity. People rolling over. I should have brought up
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. Now my whole rhyming scheme is all screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kick. So I hope to see y'all again right here on the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win, right here on the Trucker John live stream. No, this time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs, shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. For free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets. Everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road. It'll make you wish that you were young, but all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade. It's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills. It's about staying in the hunt. It's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road. That's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road. Just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret. It'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life. Everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot. You're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Show's over, I'm out of here, folks. Bye.